Funny thing happened on the way to the genocide. The global Sumud Flotilla has been hanging out in Crete, on the Isle of Crete. Beautiful Isle of Crete, by the way, for 3 days. 3 days. And I reported on them making the arrival at Crete on the 24th. Wonder why they were all bunching up there. And I said, well, still, the 24th, yesterday was the 4th, was the 26th. And that was the end of the Freedom Seas operation. Turkey and Egypt with a bunch of fucking ships in this area right before, in the Mediterranean, right on the outside, in the international waters on the outside of fucking Gaza. And clearly what they were doing there was waiting, having these drills, waiting for the global Sumud Flotilla to get there, and they would provide protection. So what did the global Sumud Flotilla do? They went to Crete, and they practiced their maneuvers for 3 fucking days. They waited for the Turks and the Egyptians to have to leave. They're still on the Isle of Crete. And they're still doing drills. And I'll show you in a second the paths. And I'll show you a video of one of the fucking leaders of the global Sumud Flotilla saying, we're doing drills. You're doing what? What are you doing? Drills. There's. You look at the tracker. The tracker's up to date. They're all bunched up, but they're going out occasionally. They're doing little drills, little paths in the water on the beautiful fucking off the coast of the beautiful Isle of Crete. What are they going to do? Outmaneuver a fucking Israeli warship? They're killing time. They're enjoying themselves. It's beautiful. It's the fucking Mediterranean. And they're doing stuff. Oh, we're doing drills. We're doing this. You were waiting for the fucking Turks and the Egyptians to leave. That's what you were waiting for. I told you on the 24th. 23rd. Told you on the 23rd. When it was announced that the Italians were sending a ship, a frigate, in spite of the fact that all these pro-Palestinian websites, please stop that. Thank you. Kitten, stop. All these fucking pro-Palestinian websites were telling you they're there to support the fucking thing, and they're going to come in there and provide cover for them. And I said to you, I wrote, that's not what the Italians said. They said that they were there with the frigate for the Sumud Flotilla to give up all the fucking aid and supplies and food and stuff and formula and stuff and first aid for the fucking people of Gaza, hand it over to them, and then they would then give it to the Catholics, who would then take it to Jerusalem and give it to Fatah and fucking Palestinian Authority Palestinians, compliant Palestinians, House N-word Palestinians, and none of it would get to the people of Gaza who need it. I mean, because God knows the Catholics have never had it in for the fucking Muslims, especially around Jerusalem. I told you this. The last couple of days, people are like, oh my God, the Spanish now are too. I don't know what the Spanish are going to do. Maybe the Spanish have every intention to help. But they've been there 24 hours. And the global Sumud Flotilla is sitting there doing drills in the beautiful Mediterranean while people starve in Gaza. I'm going to show you all of this. The Italian president said, hand over the shit and go back home. The Italian president and the commander of the frigate said, and the commander of the Italian Navy said, we're not going to interfere if IDF decides to blow you out of the waters in international waters. If the IDF decides to sink you, we'll just be here to pick up any stragglers who are still fucking treading water. That's what the glorious Italians just did. And I told you, on the 23rd or the 24th, I'll show you my link. That's 3 days ago. By the way, that's when they arrived on Crete, 3 days ago. Had they continued on, they would have had the Greeks, they would have had the Egyptians and the Turks help them actually provide cover for them. They'd be handing out supplies right now in fucking Gaza. And there's not a damn thing the fucking IDF could have done about it. Now, some people out there will naturally say, well, Scott, you're one hell of an armchair fucking quarterback, aren't you? Fuck you. The whole point, the whole reason these people, these activists, these professional activists, Greta Thunberg, and the selfie boat fucking team, the whole reason they're given any fucking credit at all is because it's inherently fucking dangerous to cross the Israeli blockade with aid for starving children in fucking Gaza. That's the whole point. That's why people were given fucking credit. That's why they were patted on the back and given all the clout on Instagram and TikTok and fucking YouTube. Now you tell me? They've had a great time. They've been doing the dancing. They've been posing with the fucking flags. Greta Thunberg's been making little acting scenes in the fucking boats with some fucking comedian from Ireland. And now they get to the point where, oh shit, this fucking shit is real. They could sink our boat. And what do? What are they doing? Okay, you got us. This is not armchair quarterbacking, people. This is not armchair quarterbacking. These people said that this is what they were going to do. The boat captain said this is what they were going to do. They said yesterday that they've rejected the Italian fucking blackmail offer and they were on their way 26 hours ago. And I just saw a video from 26 minutes ago saying, okay, we're still off the coast of fucking Crete and we're running these drills. They're playing. They're LARPing. They're fucking LARPers. I don't give a shit how many of them are. I don't give a shit how many boats there are. If you're on a boat in the flotilla and you're seeing this video and you really, really, really want to do what you told the fucking world you were going to do, and your captain says, no, I don't want to risk my boat, the word is fucking mutiny. Off the fucking boat he goes, and you go to Gaza. And if you get sunk, you get sunk. And then the world pays more attention. And then the world gets even angrier. And then the world actually sends some frigates and some battleships and some fucking tankers with all kinds of aid to Gaza. You do what you said you were going to fucking do. Now, some of you might say, well, Scott, you're one hell of a person to talk about doing what you said you were going to do. Fair enough. Fair enough. But But I'm not making selfies on the fucking boats on the way to Gaza and turning around after the fucking 3-week vacation in the Mediterranean, probably paid for by activists who couldn't fucking go because maybe they were fucking disabled. And now when it gets real and there's actually a threat, you're like, oh. And I'm sorry. Fucking drones dropping fucking flashbangs on your little boat. It's not a threat. When they start dropping napalm on your boat, that's a threat. Flashbangs, not a threat. A nuisance. A wake-up call for the more frightened, the more timid in your group. But that's what that was. Apparently, it worked just fine, didn't it? I wrote a thing this morning. I'll read it to you. Listen, I swear to God, I hope. They're saying, oh, one of the lead ships has had engine trouble. So all 47 have to fucking do drills around fucking the Isle of Crete. The beautiful, lovely Mediterranean Isle of Crete. Are they taking little dinghies to the shore and enjoying some of the nice, beautiful cafes and the drinks and the nightlife in Crete? Is Greta Thunberg out there shaking, wiggling her little fucking butt for the people of Gaza? Is that what's happening? I'm guessing that's what's happening. I swear to God, I hope. But they've been there 3 goddamn days. They waited out. Kitten. They waited out the Turks and the Egyptians. And now here they are, probably going to hand over the stuff to the fucking Italians, who will then give it to the Catholics, who will then give it to Fatah. Or maybe it'll be intercepted by the IDF, and instead of giving it to Fatah, the IDF will take it and give it to the fucking settlers. And the thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, who in some way or another contributed to one or another or even more boats, either with their manpower, with their support, with their encouragement, with their money. Tens of thousands of people behind this. And what they ended up doing is providing fucking baby formula food, nappies, first aid to settlers in the West Bank. If they hand the shit over to the Italians, each and every one of them should be arrested for fraud when they get back to wherever they're going. And you say, well, Scott, they're not all captains. The word is mutiny. You fucking negate, you renege on a deal like that all of a sudden? Yeah. Let's just go through the evidence as we have it. Global Sumud Flotilla is getting closer. 12 hours ago, no, that's exactly where the Global Sumud Flotilla has said they were for the last 3 goddamn days. And if you say, well, Scott, you can't prove that. Bullshit, I can't. That's where they are on the 27th. As you can see from my article dated on the 24th, today's the 27th, they've been stalled there for 3 fucking days. 3 days. This is September 24th, 2025. It would appear that Italy is pressing the Global Sumud Flotilla to hand over all the aid and turn around before they get to the area in the Mediterranean where the Egyptians and the Turkish are running their military drills. They claim they will give the aid to the Catholics, who will then give it to the Palestinians in Jerusalem, probably Fatah and Palestinian Authority supporters, and not make sure it gets to Gaza. Israel supports the plan. According to this, the flotilla tracker seems to suggest all the boats have landed in Crete and are stalled at this point, September 24th, 2025. That's what I wrote. That's what I wrote. And here's the location from the 22nd of September, 5 days ago, as it relates to Operation Friendship Seas. This is the Friendship Seas drills. This is Gaza. This is where they were. They made it to fucking Crete, probably in less than the fucking 2 days. So I might have been partying on Crete even more than 3 days. And this is what was waiting to help them in the Mediterranean Sea. And it just so happens they were going to be there at exactly the same time. If they had stayed on path, the Sumud Flotilla would get there. But no, instead what happened? Instead, they've been hanging out in Crete for fucking at least 3 days. Doing what? What the fuck is all this? What are they doing? Oh, they'll tell you what they're doing. Here you go. Off the coast of Crete. Last maneuvers. That's fucking Crete. And this is the flotilla. And this was 46 fucking minutes ago. And that is exactly what they've been doing. Running maneuvers. They're going to take some fucking pleasure boat and try to out fucking sail IDF warships. Really? Really? That's the Global Sumud Flotilla commentary. They posted it 47 minutes ago.
On the phone to good friends on one of those small boats in the Mediterranean, trying to take medicine and food to the starving people of Gaza.
Look at all the people who helped, who gave their fucking sweat, who gave their fucking
medicine
time,
and food
who gave their fucking
to the starving.
Look at this. Now, this is the Spanish Prime Minister Sanchez. He says he hopes that Israel will not attack the global Sumud flotilla. We send our ships to protect them just in case Israeli forces attack the flotilla. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Is he saying that they're going to intervene, or is he saying they'll pick up the fucking stragglers as they're floating around in the water?
There's a difficult situation building on with the flotilla that's coming towards Gaza. They're trying with humanitarian supplies. Your country, and I believe Italy, is sending military assets to try to protect it against any attack from Israel.
And let's hope not. Also to rescue them, just in case the Israeli forces
to rescue them. Same thing.
Attack the flotilla, which, by the way, there are representatives of 45 countries. Not only people, members of NGOs, but also politicians, MPs of different national parliaments. So let's hope that they can provide this humanitarian aid, and of course let's hope that doesn't happen anything to these people, and of course we will provide that safeguard just in case they suffered any attack.
We will provide a safeguard just in case they are attacked. They're not going to stop them from attacking them. They're not going to intervene. But they might pick them up out of the fucking ocean. Depending on... I wonder how long fucking Greta Thunberg can tread water. Here they are. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They're breaking through the fucking barrier. Are they breaking through the fucking barrier? Are they breaking through anything? Are they breaking through anything? No, it seems to me they're all just bunched up here and enjoying this beautiful fucking Mediterranean. They're just hanging out, running military drills, doing maneuvers. Oh, look at that. What had tens of thousands of people paid for all this. The last maneuvers. There's the flotilla. There they are. Just parked. There they are. Just parked. Doing absolutely fucking nothing. Let me read this to you. From Reuters. Organizers of an international flotilla, aid flotilla, said on Friday they would press on Friday, yesterday, with attempts to break an Israeli naval embargo on Gaza, despite pleas by Italy to accept, and apparently Spain as well, a compromise proposal and not take further risks. Italian President Sergio Mattarella urged the flotilla's organizers to accept a proposal to drop off its aid supplies in Cyprus and hand them over to the Catholic Church's Latin Patriarch, who the fuck knows, of Jerusalem for distribution in Gaza. That's not going to happen. They're not letting any aid into Gaza. And maybe they'll hand the aid over to the fucking Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then starving Gazans can get shot. I told you from the start that Italy wasn't sending a frigate to defend the global Sumud flotilla, but rather they were there to pressure the leaders to hand over the aid to the Italians, and they would give it to the Catholics, who would then take it to Jerusalem and give it probably to Palestinians in the West Bank. Because it can't go from fucking Jerusalem into fucking Gaza unless it goes through the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The kinds of Palestinians who would accept the occupation and bow and scrape to the glorious Israelis, they're the ones who will get it. I already read this. Well, it would appear that Italy is pressing the global Sumud flotilla to hand over all the aid and turn around before they get to the area of the Mediterranean Sea where the Egyptians and the Turkish are running their military drills. They claim they will give the aid to the Catholics, who will then give it to Palestinians in Jerusalem, probably Fatah and Palestinian Authority supporters, and not make sure it gets to Gaza. Israel supports the plan. According to this, it's a plan, by the way, Israel supports. The flotilla tracker seems to suggest all the boats have landed in Crete and are stalled at this point, and are they calling it quits? And this was what I wrote on the 24th of this month, 3 days ago. That's what I told you while all the others were saying the Italians were defending the activists. Turns out the flotilla has now been in Crete for the better part of 3 days. As you can see from my article dated on the 24th, today's the 27th, they've been stalled for 3 fucking days. Here's their location from the 22nd of September, 5 days ago, as it related to Operation Friendship Seas. That's the Turkish and the Egyptians, who just happened to be there. And here's the explanation of what Operation Friendship Seas was. Oh, look, military and aircraft vessels, military naval ships and aircraft vessels, and even a submarine, the GER, waiting here for who? Yeah, the Global Sumud Flotilla. But what do? They take a vacation on Crete until they're gone. The leaders of the flotilla seem to have been waiting out the Friendship Seas joint military operation being carried out by Turkey and Egypt. They waited them out. Why the hell would they do that? They were supposed to leave yesterday, the day the Friendship Seas operation ended, but instead they're still in Crete, enjoying the beautiful weather and lovely little seaside cafes while more and more Palestinians die of starvation. Italy has told organizers that they are on their own and their ship will not defend the flotilla from the bloodthirsty IDF. Quote, again, Reuters. The timing of the flotilla's departure from Greece was unclear. Organizers said one of the lead boats had suffered a mechanical failure, but that the flotilla would continue. But it hasn't. Italy's foreign ministry sent a message to the Italian members on the flotilla on Thursday warning them against continuing with their mission after refusing Cyprus' plan and offering help with repatriation if they chose to disembark in Greece. It said the Navy ship deployed by Rome would intervene only for sea rescue, which apparently is the same shit that fucking prime minister from Spain was saying. Only for sea rescue or humanitarian operations, and would not engage in defensive or offensive maneuvers. Whoever continues with the mission takes on all risks and is personally responsible for them, it said. Reuters, quote, end of quote. Hand over the supplies and we'll give you, and we will hand over the supplies, and we will give them to compliant Palestinian slaves in the West Bank, says the Italians. Oh, looky. They just happened to have engine troubles right at a time when they could have sailed into Gaza with the help from the Turks and Egyptians. Or did someone on board sabotage them? Who's leading this thing? Have they chickened out? Have they sold out? Everything sounded great to these clout-chasing activists. Go to the Mediterranean, hang out on boats with like-minded folks, drink at the cafes when you pull into port, do little fucking selfie dances and wiggle your ass. And then make selfie videos crying and weeping and being all somber about how brave you are and how much you care about the Palestinians. And then a funny thing happened on the way to the genocide. Shit got real, and the beautiful people started seriously thinking about being lost at sea and drowning in a sea with no one watching on TikTok. So what's the next step? More lies about engine trouble, or they just hand over the goods to the fucking Catholics, declare victory, and go home and enjoy the fame this little vacation should bring them? I don't know. But I do know the frailty of the Western spine is something to behold, isn't it? Now I write this, and I make this video in the hopes that somebody out there on that flotilla, and the leadership council, and the steering committee, will decide to prove me fucking wrong. And they will get off their fucking asses, and they will stop doing their little maneuvers, and they'll collect all the fucking people who want to go, who want to leave the beautiful little Crete fucking cafes, drinking ouzo by the sea, get back on the fucking boats, and set sail for fucking Gaza. And you're like, well, Scott, that's real easy for you to say back at home. It is. I guarantee you it is. But I'm also not somebody who said, I was brave enough to go. This is where the courage matters. Being courageous doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you act in spite of the fact that you're afraid. No, I cannot go to fucking Gaza. I cannot go and get on a fucking boat. I can't fly. I don't have a passport. And I don't believe nowadays they would give me a passport. So, no, I cannot go. This is the point where the rubber meets the road. It's been a vacation up until this point, and now it gets real. And apparently, it damn sure looks like their heart wasn't in it to start with. Maybe you leave half of them, everybody who wants to stay behind and Crete, and let them stay there and sip on ouzo and do the little fucking butt-wiggling dances and for TikTok and talk about how much they love the Palestinian people, and they can wave bye-bye to the really courageous. This is where we separate the wheat from the chaff, I guess. I hope. I swear to God, I hope. Because it would be a monumental thing for them to take at least half the boats and make landfall in Gaza. And in spite of the fact that that Italy and fucking Spain say what they say, I'm not entirely sure that what the politicians say is the same thing the commanders feel on those fucking vessels. But you'll only find out, you'll only fucking know if somebody in the goddamn leadership and steering committee has the fucking courage to put their fucking fear aside and go. And I swear to God, I hope they do. And that is what this video is about. That is what this fucking article is about. No, I'm not there. But you are. And you can make history. Or you can acquiesce to the fucking glorious Israelis like everybody else. Choice is yours. Tim Shaw.